Let's finish up, Monica, with this story coming out of Baltimore that broke this
Right.
weekend. There are 2 sidewalk counselors doing the very same thing that you and our groups do on a routine basis, and that is standing in front of the abortion centers, as you say, trying to talk women out of abortion. I love that because that's exactly what we're trying to do. Um, and they were seriously injured. One of them, Mark Crosby, and if you would, Mr. Producer, you've got that photographs, very graphic.
Yes,
Apparently,
one
he
of the
was
best
hurt
parts.
very badly and went to the emergency room. And I'm going to quote from the LifeSite News article. It says the plate bone in his upper right cheek is completely fractured. You can tell by the picture that there's something very badly wrong here, and he's bleeding from some unidentified area behind his eye, and the bone eye orbit is completely shattered and will have to be replaced with metal. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up, we hear of attacks, we hear of vandalism, we hear of other things. And before the program, you said to me, you can't recall a more brutal assault on a pro-life activist. Now you recall a gentleman, I forget his name now, in Michigan, who is murdered out front of one of these. So that probably
Oh, that was James Pulliam.
pulling, yeah.
James Pulliam
But
was
I
shot.
think r right, he was shot outside. This was, I don't know, 15 years ago, what, but this does, appear to me to be one of the worst, and so I want you to comment on that. For those of us who go out to the sidewalks, what would your advice be to them?
Still go.
Yeah, oh,
Don't let
good
them
one.
stop you.
Right.
I mean, look at what happens to an unborn child is 16,000 times worse than what could ever happen to us.
That's
And if we lose heart, what does that say about our movement? I mean, look at what those who are fighting for civil rights had to put up with getting beaten, lynchings, being the dogs turned on them when they were trying to exercise their First Amendment rights. Come on, guys.
yes.
Apparently, I forget. It's really too bad. I think the other guy's name the other person who was
Dick
assaulted. His name
Schaefer.
is Schaefer. Schaefer. Thank you.
Yeah,
So the two of them were outside of this Planned Parenthood in Baltimore, and I think they're associated with Jack
Jack
Ames'
Ames, right,
group,
defend life.
Defend Life. In fact, they were wearing the Defend Life T-shirts, now
Yeah, I've
called
been to this
Bloody.
abortion center myself. I've been there once or twice at
Okay.
least. Yeah.
And there were escorts, pro-abortion escorts, apparently at the outside of the abortion center. Um, I think two guys. This was a kind of, shall I say, a kind of a hit and run assault, and it was very brutal. Uh, they knocked both of these sidewalk counselors were knocked out, and
Mhm.
then Mark Crosby was kicked. This is the way I heard it described anyway, and that caused the injury to his face and his eye. But look, our blood has to be mixed with the blood of our Lord as he's dying on the cross for the multiplication of graces to bring an end to abortion. And so we just have to continue to do what we do. I,
Yeah.
I I'm going to make a prediction that this is not going to be, something that we're going to be facing. I think it was a very unusual situation. And we need to pray for uh, these two victims, and frankly pray for the conversion of these pro-aborts who assaulted them, and frankly that they be brought to justice. I understand that the American Center for Law and Justice, Jay Sekulo's
Group is gonna, yeah,
legal
they're gonna
legal
represent 'em.
advocacy group is going to be taking this case
Right,
going forward. So
yeah.
we'll hopefully there'll be some justice.
Well, I wanted to get your take on that, and friends, I just want you to know this. I've made this clear in many ways, and that is, if you go out to the sidewalks, you have to have situational awareness, and that is your head should be on a swivel as much as you're able. Of course, not losing sight on why you're there, which is to talk women out of abortion and to save children and rescue them, of course. But there should be certain measures put into place to try to protect yourselves. people need to have the ability to film, and even if it's just to have at the ready, your own iPhone to pull out so
Right.
that you can record this, and that's obviously important. Plus the buddy system, which in this case, there were 2 of them, which is what that's standard operating procedure. Well, Monica, I appreciate you being on the program, friends. Go to